This is our arm assembly with our collet that mates into this receptacle that's part of the arm. When you insert the arm, you use the tensioner. The collet tends to hold the arm at different places according to its tension, and it stays up pretty well. These are our global tuners. I'm going to build a global tuner here. This is a 2mm spacer that allows us to extend the intonation, and it matches the vintage format much more closely as a consequence. This element's very simple. It has a nice screw with the walls that hold it in place, and a very nice stable format. This is the Global Tuner Pro secondary spring holder. We put shims on each side that allow, or spacers if you will, that determine the position of the pins in general related to the housing. Here, because it's going to have a drop tuner, we use a heavier duty spring. This little white washer is removable, and when you do, you reduce the tension of the springs. If you remove the little shims I showed you, those rings that are in here now, it moves the housing closer and puts more tension on the springs. So to make it firmer, you can take the little rings out, or to make it lighter, take the little washer out, or a combination to meet your guitar needs and the tunings and string gauges and scale length you're using. It's pretty flexible. So we offer three different spring sizes. Here it's an HD spring that we use for the 6-string with the drop tuner. And for the 7-string, it's the same spring for the regular tremolo. And then we have an ultra high density spring for the drop tuner on the 7-string. Each are calibrated, and so far from feedback from the field, everything seems to be working well enough. And we're pretty happy with that. Here I'm just thumbing this in. I always leave a little gap here so that you can thumb it either way. It is totally fine to extend this all the way out in order to meet your guitar in a better way and still be functional. It's pretty resourceful in terms of its dimensionality. So in this type of arrangement, this is the 292. It's for vintage double locking systems. This has the drop tuner in it here. So if you're playing an E, this is E, and that's D, and it goes back and forth. It's pretty easy. I usually set it up here. There's a wrench, but basically it's set up to be pretty close. The key in setting this up is to tune it in D, in the lower setting, and then you'll tune how much it goes to E from here. And most of the tuning is pretty easy here. It's a little harder, but overall it's pretty good. It works every time. And in order for that to happen, these are pre-tensioned with the HD springs. And the HD springs allow you to pull on this spring a little bit more and then hold it firmly, so when this tension drops, it's still pushing into this so that it only drops about 5 cents. And you have still floating capability in E or drop D. And it's a drop-in fit. Fits right in your guitar. That's the 292 Pro Plus.